Alrighty, I'm gonna give everyone about 1 more minute, and then let's go ahead and do some introductions. So my wonderful panelists, if you need to grab water, I'm about to say if you need to grab some water or anything like that, do so now. I've got my good 7 o'clock coffee. Made my way all the way through college without drinking coffee ever. And then in the last year, I discovered cold brew. And I said, oh my gosh, it's coffee without the bitterness. Oh gosh, I'm hooked. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and do introductions, everyone. I will start. My name is Katie Brewster Clark, recently married. So if you get emails either from Katie Brewster or Katie Clark, that is me. I'm a senior admission counselor working with transfer students as well as students from Northwest Georgia, Tennessee, and the West and Midwest United States. Thank you for joining us today for a panel about residence life. Again, put all of your questions in the Q&A and we'll try to get to as many of them as possible. We will also give you some good email addresses to contact with any questions you have after this presentation. We'll also be downloading a recording, putting it up on YouTube. So if there are any details you miss, you can review that or review it with your family. So Blake, if you would like to get started and introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Blake Petty. I am our Director of Residence Life. I have been at Oglethorpe. This is my 5th year. And so, yeah, I supervise all of our RAs and kind of oversee our day-to-day operations inside of Residence Life. But I will pass it to Natasha.
Hi, my name is Natasha Bird. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm the Associate Director of Residence Life, Health and Wellness here at Oglethorpe. I've been here for about 3 years, and some of the areas that you'll see me in is support and Blake with programming and things that are a little bit more wellness based. So a lot of our well-being programs, things like that. And so Talia is in my top right-hand corner, so I'll popcorn to you.
Hi, I'm Talia Weinstein. I'm a senior biology major, as well as I am the CA or community advisor for Traer Residence Hall, as well as for Goodman Residence Hall. And I'll pass it to Justin.
Hi, everyone. I'm Justin Bennett. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a junior, double major in economics and French. And I'm the community advisor for Bowdoin Magby and Alumni Residence Halls.
Awesome, wonderful. So today we'll make sure to talk sort of about the housing application process itself, as well as how much fun it is living on campus and some of the activities and things that we do with our students. So if you guys would like to get started, just kind of talking about the nitty gritty of how the housing process works. Blake, you might be the expert on that.
Sure. I'll give a kind of a brief overview and try to hit all the high points. But I think, as Katie has said, please feel free to ask us as many questions as we can handle in this time frame. I'm sure there will be something I missed. But for everyone that's on this call, more than likely you've received notification about filling out your housing assignment. We do all of our housing stuff in a platform called eRes Life. It's kind of our online housing system. It's where our applications live, where housing assignments live, where roommates live, kind of anything housing related, it lives on eRes Life. So you should have got a notice on how to log in, you activate an account in eRes, and you fill out a fall housing application. The application's pretty short, ask you some lifestyle questions to help us with our matching algorithm, and kind of gets us to know a little bit more about you. And then there's some open-ended things about, is there any concerns you have, placement concerns, accommodations you might be seeking, are you playing a sport on campus, different things like that we can use to make sure we're serving you best. But that application opened on March 8th, so you should be able to access it now at any time. We have 2 waves of housing assignments. So If you have made your deposit through the admissions office, and you have filled out your housing application, then you are ready to be placed in housing. The way we work housing assignments for first year students is it's based on your deposit date. So your housing priority is based on whatever day you pay your enrollment deposit. There is not a separate housing deposit. There is only the enrollment deposit. It's all wrapped into one. So once you pay that with the admissions office, that sets your priority into the housing application. Like I said, we do it in two different ways. So if you've done your deposit and you have applied for housing by May 7th, then we kind of place you in that first round of housing assignments that goes out somewhere beginning to mid-June. So somewhere around in that kind of first 2 weeks of June is when you should expect it. We'll probably have a little more information with graduation pushed later. It might be a little later in June, closer to middle of June, but you'll get an email with your housing assignment and all that kind of stuff. If you decide after that May 7th deadline, or if you filled the application late or anything like that, which I doubt any of the people on this call will do, then you're placed kind of in our second wave, which is more middle of July. So we'll get placed in that second round there. So in that housing application, again, it's more about you and getting to know more about you, just in case you don't have a roommate. I did see one question, so I'll go ahead and address it quickly. If you want a roommate, a very specific roommate, so you choose who you want to live with, there is a way to request that person. When you fill out your housing application, this is the easiest way I'm going to tell you to do this. When you fill out your housing application, you get an automatic response email that gives you a step-by-step guide on how to create a roommate profile, how to search a roommate, and how to select a roommate, okay? The one thing that I always tell students is it has to be mutual. So if I set up a roommate profile and I want to invite my friend to it, I can invite them. They have to accept it. If you don't accept and the request is not mutual, which at any time you can see on eRes Life if the request is mutual or not. If it's not, then we do not guarantee that you'll be placed together. If it is, the housing system automatically ensures that you are placed together. So again, that's kind of a general overview for the most people on this call. You can expect housing assignments sometime early to mid-June, as long as you've paid your deposit, you fill out your housing application, and all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's probably a general overview. So if I missed anything, again, feel free to ask questions that I didn't cover.
Fantastic. Thank you, Blake. So now that we've gone over sort of the nitty-gritty application details, I would love to talk to Justin and Talia a bit about the most fun parts of living on campus and why you all do what you do.
I guess I'll start. So, Katie, that's a great question. So we are here for your future success, your future endeavors on campus, and we want you to have fun. So we have programs for you. We have like initiatives to get you involved. We have resources like set aside for you. We have all these things so that you have all the keys and the tools and the events that you want to go to and you want to see, so that you're not on campus and just like always doing homework, or you're always just like bored or whatever. We have things for you. We have things planned for you so that you are so that you have fun. You have a good college experience, because that's what we all want. Of course, we're here for academics, but we're here to also live a little. So we do offer that a lot all the time. We have events every single day. A lot of times, multiple events per day. So I don't want to take too much from Talia, so I'll give it to her too.
So, sorry, each hall and like every area also has a very different community and a very different feeling to it. So you can live in a place as a freshman called Dempsey, which is a majority women's hall, with the exception occasionally of the first floor, where it's more, it's very quaint. They all really know each other who live on each other's floor. It's quiet. They do like really fun spa nights usually and art nights and stuff. Or you could live in a hall like Traer, which you see each other on all 3 floors every single day the minute you step out of your room. So we're just like one big community that we do a lot of our programs outside in the courtyard together, and we include everyone on. And so like Justin was saying, we're here for you to have fun, but we're also here to build a community so that you don't feel alone and alienated sometimes coming to school, especially for students who live out of state or, it is their first time away from home at all. It's a lot to just completely move out of your parents' house and move into a dorm. And so that's what we're here for, to provide that support, and to make sure that you're having fun and, maybe inspiring you to be the next leaders also on campus.
I will say I saw on Instagram tonight a tie-dye event that I was very jealous of. Do you two have like a favorite program that you've been to over the last couple of years?
We're gonna say the same one, I bet.
Which one?
Freshman mixer.
Yeah. So last year at the beginning of the year, we did an all residence life program where it was a first year mixer. So it was for transfer students as well as for freshmen, that we wanted them to be able to meet each other and have fun. So we had like a bunch of different ice cream. Every RA was involved, but there was a dunk tank that all of the CAs got into, and everyone got to throw like balls and hit the CAs and the professional staff into the dunk tank. So it was, yeah.
And it was like the numbers were crazy. You had like a bunch of people there. So you most likely met someone who you've never met before, which is always something good, because as Talia said, we try to build community. So it was a very good event, a very successful event. And I would say, just to show you how diverse we are with events. So like even in a time like we're in right now with COVID, last semester we had like an end of semester de-stress fest. And so we were able to have like karaoke, we had s'mores, we had like hot chocolate pizza, we had all that stuff, obviously following COVID protocols, but we had all that stuff laid out so the students wouldn't be feel so cooped up and feel so stressed out during like final exams. So we have things planned for you. Of course, you like just try to go to them.
Yeah, I know, for all of us adults and students alike, making sure that people feel like they're still having fun and still connecting with their community during COVID has been such a tough initiative. So speaking about COVID, always going to be the elephant in the room this year. Blake and Natasha, if you can talk a little bit about what we have done to try to keep our students both safe and entertained this year, and some of the initiatives we put in place. I think that would be super helpful.
That's Blake's way of telling me, go ahead. So a lot, right? There's been a lot of protective measures and request for personal protective equipment, hand washing, a lot of the things that have kind of been staples over the past year. I think that we've been relatively, I don't know if strict is the right word, but that there have been kind of these stages that we've gone through when it comes to staying alone for a little bit in your own space, but meeting virtually, and then moving to this pod section that we're in currently that worked last semester, and this one where we're open up to about 6 folks that you can have within your residential spaces that you can meet with. And so I think that those have been integral, right? Because the reason is we're trying to reduce risk, our risk of spread on campus. And so that if and when we have positives, it's not everyone across the whole campus. It's maybe just a couple people in the pod. We're able to catch them quickly and isolate and work them through a number of different things. And those include our testing, that we have a thing called Lifeguard RX, which is a screening app that we've been using since last semester, and you're supposed to do daily screenings. And so we've been doing a lot of changes and additions to make sure that we have students checking their symptoms every single day, faculty and staff that live on. We have PACAs, so community or commuters that are coming on campus that are approved are utilizing this lifeguard system as well. And so those are a couple of things that I'm thinking of, as well as things all across campus. Within the dining hall, things have changed completely. And so Talia and Justin might be able to speak a little bit more to what a day-to-day run through of that area looks like. But there's been a lot, I think, that we've done, and it's shown, I think, that community care piece, because that takes a lot to have to process through and think and do some of the things that try and keep us safe, and that we've been doing that for almost a year, if not more at this point. So.
Yeah.
And I'll talk a little bit about kind of as we go into next semester as well, since kind of that's what we're thinking. We early on last summer, we partnered with a company called Canton and Company, and they're a consulting firm that does healthcare consulting. And so we have two really great, one is a physician and one's a registered nurse by trade, but two really great consultants that have experience in dealing with pandemics, specifically the H1N1, in 2007 and 8. So they've been awesome to work with, in the last basically almost a year now. But kind of what we're doing now is looking into the future about what next semester looks like. So, what does it look like to have a population that might be 70% or 50% or 90% vaccinated? And what does that look like for our campus community? What's it look like to keep our community safe in the residence halls? Where we, right now we're in kind of a more of a reduced housing model, but where we anticipate to be in a full capacity housing model in the fall. So those kind of plans are already happening. We have already submitted some proposals to them about how we would work on, how we would do housing, how we would continue to keep the community safe. Again, kind of with a varying degree of what our vaccinated population might look like. But again, those conversations are happening now, again, planning all the way for August. So they've been really great to partner with and to look forward to, keeping a community. Right now, we're a community of about 400 residents and about 350 commuters. So about 700 students with another 100 or so staff. But what's it look like to go back to that community where we're closer to 1,400 students, another 200-300 staff? We're talking 1,500-1,600 people on our campus, and how do we keep that population safe? So those are things we'll be releasing more, obviously, as we have it. So things to look out for sure.
Yeah, Natasha mentioned meal plans. Everyone may know that our unlimited meal plans are included in our room and board. And so, of course, food looks a little different in its packaging in 2021. Talia and Justin, if you'd like to talk about your delicious meals we've been feeding you.
Yeah, so right now, the way that meals have been delivered is, you go into the dining hall, you either have this really wonderful bag for takeout, or you can eat in the dining hall. There's tables spaced apart with, appropriate chairs placed. And you can do, a lot of the food is already prepackaged. If it's cold, so there's like sandwiches and salads that are on one side, and like cereal and like individual milk containers for like breakfast on one side that you can just grab, throw in your bag. And then there's the home zone station, which is where like the warm home cooked meals are, that if you want to eat there, you get a regular plate that's already behind the counter. And the staff who work in the dining hall will serve it that way. If you want it to go, they put it in a to-go container for you. Normally, we would allow like your own cup to bring to fill up, but right now they're not allowing that, just to prevent anything from coming in. And so, but everything's really clean as well. I think Justin can also, vouch for this. We're going to be honest with the food. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. That's just what college food is. Yeah.
Yeah, I echo everything Talia said, but I mean, with food, as Talia said, it's a hit or miss. But then you have to realize that there are several options, right? So, like as Talia mentioned, the home zone where you have the warm food. If you don't want anything there, then there's always Pizza Grill. There's always the actual grill where you can get a burger or grilled cheese or whatever like that. And then as Talia mentioned as well, we have salads, sandwiches, cereal, et cetera, et cetera. And so you always have a meal during the day. I'm pretty sure Katie has talked about in admissions several times on tours and stuff that the hours of the caf. So it's never a time where you really can't eat. And then we have we have resources for you to get like little snacks during those off periods. So you should be fine. You don't have to worry about having to go out off of campus to go get food or anything like that. So
And anyone with dietary restrictions, that is something that we take very seriously. If you have any allergies, something you can communicate with our staff to make sure that you are getting allergen-free meals. And of course, we are in a really fantastic neighborhood if you do want some takeout food. Goodness knows my coworker Ethan goes down to Zaxby's just about every day. But there are a lot of different international restaurants around us, and the town Brookhaven area is definitely a great resource for our students. So for anyone not really familiar with where we're situated, really anyone who wants to take this, if you guys want to kind of explain what town Brookhaven is and kind of where our neighborhood is.
yeah, I love this question. So I love getting out and exploring the city, not only because of the fact that Atlanta's great, but you have like where we are, we're in Brookhaven, which is adjacent to Buckhead. So that means like all the good restaurants, all the like good places to go, things like that is literally within like 5-7 minutes. And then like we're also in the middle of Buckhead and like the Dunwoody, Sandy Springs area. So if you don't like that area, you can go up there and they have the exact same things, but a different type of scene or atmosphere type thing. And so it's so much to do in those two areas if you want to go experience those things. But then we have our own little bubble in Brookhaven where it's like we have town Brookhaven next door to us where we have Publix, Marshalls, movie theater, Costco. Like if you need clothes, if you need food, if you want to go see a movie, if you need groceries, if you want to get your nails done, hair done, you can do that over there too. There's everything that you could possibly need literally in walking distance. And because we have our Petrel partners, you get discounts at those places. Then like obviously we have parks and stuff around, and then the infamous Buford Highway is like 5 minutes down the road. You have tons of food, markets, all the type, anything that you could possibly want. And so I truly do say that Oglethorpe is like in the best possible location ever because it's like in the middle of everything.
Yeah, definitely. I am Atlanta born and raised. So I definitely know a lot about how all the different sort of areas of Atlanta have different personalities. And I do love really how like walkable the Oglethorpe campus is to the things you need. For anyone who does want to bring a car to campus, that is certainly allowed. If anyone want to take that and talk about what commuting is like or what it is like being a residential student with a car.
Yeah, go ahead, Talia. You're good.
Oh, I was gonna say I can do the residential student with a car. I can't do the commuter. I've never been a commuter. I'm from out of state as well. Like Justin said, he's from Alabama. I'm from North Carolina. So I've had a car since my freshman year on campus. You, depending on what zone you're in, depends on the price of it. So residential areas are zone 3 and zone 4. And like for a year, the parking pass is like, I think $125. It's very reasonable. You put it on your windshield and then you can park anywhere in that zone. And usually you get a parking spot like right outside your building. So it's not a far walk at all. And you can keep your car on campus the entire time. I mean, if you have to go out with it, you can. Like Justin said, because of where we're located, we're at like optimal location to like go explore, for example. So like we're only 20 minutes on a drive on a good day from downtown, but we're also only a mile from the MARTA station. So if you don't want the car on campus, or if you even do want it, you can park at the MARTA station, take MARTA all the way around. I will say though, if you park in a zone that you're not supposed to park in, you will get a ticket for that. So you should only be parking in your residential area. Commuters have different zone stickers for their parking passes. So by you parking in a different area, you end up taking their spots up as well. So yeah.
Like a true community leader, I appreciate it. And certainly for the first 2 weeks of school, we don't start enforcing parking rules yet, so that we give you guys time to adjust and figure out where you're supposed to be. We don't expect you to be experts on campus the second you step in.
Katie, I'll ask something really quickly. So a lot of my residents do ask, like, I have a car. Can I go if I go off campus and I come back like really late? Am I gonna be allowed on campus? Or like, can I go somewhere late? Am I gonna get in trouble? No, you won't get in trouble. You can come back on campus. So I just want to put that out there so the people don't have that in the back of their minds.
So, thinking about that, we've got a question about campus safety, as well as bikeability of campus. So I don't know if either of the two of you have ever had bikes, but also might be a good time to talk about some of the new developments, our new walkway that we've installed.
Okay, so um, I'm one who doesn't like to walk a lot of places. So you'll see me often using other modes of transportation that aren't necessarily car. So it's definitely possible to wheel around campus on a bike. There are places to park your bike at every building. So you have bike racks. You can lock the bike, whatever you want, whatever you need to do. Katie, you also asked about the new walkway. So yeah, we have a new walkway that connects like kind of like the academic quad from the more residential side of campus and the student center. So there's a new walkway and it's not so uphill anymore or like downhill. So now you can give your legs a break when you're walking class and it's more accessible for if you want to bike or if you want to or if you for ADA purposes or just whatever you need for that. And I think you asked about campus safety too.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the new walkway because if anyone had visited campus previously, we had just one area that was just that real calf workout. Because we do have a really wonderful kind of enclosed campus that feels like you are back in the middle of a beautiful green space while you're walking in between things. Into this lovely little woodland walk. I'm so excited to be back on campus and to use it. But yes, if you guys could talk about some of our campus safety measures, things that we do to keep our students safe, both in the dorms and out and about walking on campus at night.
I feel like I've talked a lot, so I'll give it to somebody else.
I'll talk a little bit about campus safety. So I will mention, as Justin said, the campus, you are welcome to come and go as you please as a student. The campus is open during the day, so from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. the campus is an open campus. Right now during COVID, it's not, so don't try to show up today because you will get told no. But in non-COVID times, it's an open campus, so you are able to come and go. We have both a main front gate that's staffed by our campus safety department, and we have a side gate that's really only used for vehicle traffic during that time, that 7 to 9 o'clock time. After 9 o'clock, the side gate closes and the front gate closes. So you are, again, we're at that point kind of a locked campus. No one can kind of come in without having a pass access. So for students, you have a Petrel pass, you have a student ID that you can gain access to campus with, or staff can do the same. But if someone's not authorized to be on campus, they're denied access. Now, that doesn't mean you can't order a pizza at 11 o'clock at night if you're studying. You just let campus safety know, and they let them in. Absolutely. Again, we're not like keeping people in or keeping people out completely. There are exceptions to that rule. Our campus safety team is really great as well. We are excited for them to be joining us as Oglethorpe staff members here real soon. So they will be, friendly faces that you will see often, and you will get to know. But they are there really for anything that you need, from unlocking your door because you locked your key, or you might be feeling a little unsafe and you need some assistance. Again, in non-COVID times, they'll do escorts to the MARTA station. If it's late at night and you are coming back from MARTA and you just want, you walked there in the beginning and you want someone to come pick you up and drive you back, they will do that. But again, they're there to assist students. They're there to assist staff and to keep us safe. So those are some of the things campus safety does. In the residence halls, every residence hall has key card access. So again, if you don't live in that residence hall, you can't get in. You don't have a key card, you cannot get in. Every bedroom on campus is behind at least 2 locked doors. So no matter what, you are at all times behind 2 locked doors. So it would take one door to get into a space, a suite, a building, or anything like that, and then behind another locked door that would be your bedroom. So we try our best to keep students safe in that regard. And I would say generally and overall, our community is very safe, is very well lit at night, and you can always feel very safe walking around, really at all times.
Also, there is an RA on call in every single area every night from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And they do rounds from 9 to 11. They're always in like their duty area that's in a very public place that people can see, and that they know what's going on in their area as well. But from that 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., if you ever get locked out, there's a duty phone number that we actually ask you to put in the first day that you're on campus into your phone, that you can call at any time between that time period, and they can come let you in as well. They're there to, we're here, you have a noise complaint, your neighbor's making too much noise and you want to go to bed, we'll handle it for you as well, as stuff like that. And so every residence hall is also very safe. The RAs have eyes pretty much everywhere.
So as sort of, the dorm experts, if people are kind of curious about what should I bring to college, how should I make my dorm feel like home, what are some of your tips and tricks for having the most comfortable, most stylish room possible? Talia, I see your decorations.
Yeah,
here.
I was gonna say, you can really see mine for everyone to see. Here you go. I am a very big component that your dorm should be your home. For a lot of students, especially those who even live more than 30 minutes away, going home is not something that you're going to do quite often. We as RAs, we try to encourage you to stay on campus to build that community. But you come in and it's a blank canvas. The walls are completely bare. A lot of them, it's like a whitish, light gray, bluish color in the room. So I would really recommend bringing pictures, have a lot of throw blankets. This is one of 4 in this room at this point. Have tapestries, anything that really reminds you of home. My room is just a majority pictures of friends and family that I don't get to see that often. But yeah, I think that's the best way, just to make it feel like your space is just fully decorated. Justin, you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, so I'd also add that I echo everything that Talia just said. Also, I know a lot of people may have concerns about what not to bring, and so Blake put a very useful website in the chat about what not to bring, because it'll save you any type of contention that may arise. So of course, anything that can start a fire, don't bring a candle, don't bring obviously a stove, don't bring something like that. Then you have appropriately sized refrigerators, stuff like that. So just be sure that you have the things that you need and things you know that you'll need. I just agree with what Talia said. It's my home away from home because I'm 2.5 hours away. So, and I don't go home that often. So being able to be comfortable in my own space means that I'm at home. So I have it pretty decorated. You can't see anything because I'm in my kitchenette area, but yeah, it's pretty decorated in my common room and my room. So yeah.
And one of my things I always say, especially for out-of-state students like y'all, do not overpack your car on your way down. You can always pre-order things from the local Target, Walmart, Home Goods, wherever you need, and pick it up once you get here. So that way you don't have to feel like you have a one and done trip to get everything. I have to say, when my dad picked me up from college, he said, "How is there more stuff now than when we dropped you off?" And it's like, yeah, you accumulate things. You accumulate you had a painting night with your group, that's going to go up on your walls. You're gonna get new things. So definitely don't overpack yourself in the beginning. We've got a couple more questions in the chat, kind of about size of rooms and our ability to see rooms prior to moving in. I will answer that second part. We are hoping to have the campus open this summer while our students are moved out to have a chance for people to come to campus and see dorm rooms. But if you are from out of state or can't make it in, we do have sample schematics and pictures on our website as well as in our 3D tour. So you can definitely take a look there. It won't be as cute as Talia's decorated room, but it will be at least a chance to see the space. So yeah, we have different dorm styles. So Justin, if you want to talk a little bit about the difference between our different dorms, kind of layouts.
So as Talia mentioned earlier, we have Trayer, which is like the community focused dorm, right? So you have 3 floors with a courtyard in the middle, and so you have suites with like a Jack and Jill bathroom in the middle. So then you have two residents living per room, but 4 people sharing that bathroom. And then on each floor you have a common room, and you have like things to get you engaged with the community. Then you have Dempsey, like Talia already mentioned, which is mostly a women's dorm, but it's not solely a women's dorm. So yeah. Then you have Job Hansen, which is on the back side of campus. It has 4 floors, but typically the first floor is reserved for freshmen. They have a kitchen on the first floor. And then they have in the rooms, you have 4 individual rooms. So you don't have a roommate, but you have 4 individual rooms. And then you'll have a common room, like a kitchenette, similar to the one like I'm in right now. And then you have 2 bathrooms so that people on each side of the suite share 1 bathroom. So 2 people per bathroom. And then I forgot to mention the layout of Dempsey. So Dempsey's layout is you have 4 people to a suite with 1 bathroom, similar to Trayer, but in Dempsey you have a common room and you have 2 people per bedroom. So did I miss any halls?
No,
Our newest hall is Goodman.
Oh yeah.
And that is that's like a very traditional, when you think of a college dorm, communal bathroom. So you have 2 people per room that have lofted beds, and they have a desk and they have a wardrobe in there. And then there on each wing, there is a communal bathroom for the residents to use.
I miss having a communal bathroom and having someone else clean my bathroom every day. That's one of the worst parts about becoming an adult. You've got to clean it yourself. So we've got a couple questions still about sort of roommate process, specifically in regards to athletes. So Blake and Natasha, I know sometimes coaches want athletes to live together. Sort of how do you go about that?
So I will say, above all, you are a student and you get to pick. So if you are an athlete and you want to live with another athlete, then you're more than welcome to talk to your coach and say, hey, like, is there anybody on the team that doesn't have a roommate or has talked to you about wanting a roommate or anything like that, and connect to them that way. But above all, like, what you put on your roommate profile in ERES Life is what we're going to go by. And we tell coaches the same thing. If a coach wants 2 people to live together, you still have to do the roommate matching on ERES Life. No matter what, you are in charge of who you're going to live with, and that's through that roommate matching profile on ERES Life. So it's very important that you do that and that you request a roommate and do things like that. Now, again, if you don't request a roommate, that is totally okay. We are going to do our best to place you in housing based on your preferences that you put in the housing system. And it does a great job, and it has this fancy algorithm that they create. And they created with us a couple years ago that matches people together based on some characteristics that we know, honestly, based on research, that matter. So when we base those things matter to when you are to make a good roommate match. And we use those to match you with somebody. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's just random. It is sort of. It's not really random because we use a lot of the things you put in your housing application to match you with somebody else. And that could be another athlete and it could not be. It just depends.
It's an educated guess. And I know a lot of people end up becoming best of friends with their freshman roommates. So it's certainly a great time to be meeting new people. We do have a question about people living in singles. And so if you guys want to talk about what singles do exist, and our freshman policy. But I would also love to talk a little bit about our accessibility office and what we recommend students do if they have any accommodations that they need coming into campus.
Sure. So there's two options, sort of, for a single, I would say sort of. So Justin talked about Bowden Magby or Joe Panson have that suite style housing for single bedrooms, but then there's shared bathrooms, so 2 shared bathrooms for each resident, and then the shared common space amongst the 4. Basically what you're seeing behind Justin is there's like a kitchenette and everything right there. That's basically what would be in there. And so that is those are like single bedrooms. There are single bedrooms on the 3rd floor of our upper quad building. So if you've seen Schmidt, Jacobs, or Alumni, those are community style bathroom floors, just like Goodman is. But they do have single bedrooms up there. None of our residence halls have single bedrooms, single bathrooms built into them. As Katie did say, accommodations do happen. So if you need a single room for an accommodation reason, then we absolutely honor that. Those are approved through our accessibility office, and that documentation is required through them. And then they approve them and let us know that a student needs a single room or a single bathroom accommodation, which we're happy to do if needed. But as far as like a traditional, like I'm gonna have a single room, single bathroom by myself, then we do not have those. We firmly believe in the idea of having a roommate and meeting friends and meeting people, and so that is kind of what we do.
We did have a question about study abroad in the chat, so I put a link to our study abroad website on here. But people might be curious what happens to your room when you go abroad. If you guys like to answer that question, because I know study abroad is pretty popular with us.
For study abroad students, it kind of acts as an exemption. You're working through the process of being exempt and living off in your other place. So whether that is another country or somewhere else, that there is that process, if that's what you're asking. I may be listening or hearing the question incorrectly, but generally speaking, we treat those as exemptions. And so we're working with folks upstairs, like Marissa, Dr. Atencio, to kind of process through and just make sure that you've got all the paperwork and that you're good to go. And so for some people, there's kind of a dual process. If you are looking to study abroad, that you might be working with us to hold housing while you're working through all your paperwork, just to make sure that you're good to go. So if something happened and maybe you change your mind, or that particular site doesn't pan out for this time period, that you maybe then will actually live on and study abroad at a later time. So hopefully that kind of gets at some of that.
And that reminds me, for people who are not really familiar with our campus, if any of you would like to kind of explain what all is housed in the TLCC and how you guys are available for our students.
I don't mind, unless someone else wants to take it. So TLCC stands for Turner Lynch Campus Center. It is the student center, the kind of closest thing that we have to it. There are other buildings that I think do a good job of rounding that out, like our athletic center and facility, and any number of other spaces on campus. But A lab upstairs. Justin can probably speak to all the things that happen up there in the Center for Student Success. That's what's considered the second floor. We're on the first floor in residence life and student involvement. Kind of down at the bottom, we're probably, I don't know if we're on the 360 tour as TLCC, but if we are, feel free to check us out there. But there's also the game room. Starbucks is in the game room area. What else do we have? Upstairs, there's kind of some spaces for studying and sitting that are open. There are other places for computers and printing. And so you can do those places or those things in the library and Cousins too, but TLCC in a year that's not pandemic-y tends to be open a little bit later. Oftentimes we have late night food that might be open till like 11:30 p.m. So folks are often eating here, studying here, and just commuting or just being communal in the space. And programs, a lot of programming through Programming Board, SGA happens in some of these open spaces as well. Thinking of Boar's Head and big, large programs that happen around here too.
I think that is one of my very favorite things about Oglethorpe, is that all of our staff and faculty are readily available for our students. It is not like they are, oh, that head of residence life, never seen him before. Like, I don't know how this works. He's just a ghost figure I get emails from. No, you're going to see us on campus and going to be able to talk to us if you ever have any concerns or anything like that. So Justin and Talia, is there anything that we haven't talked about your experience that you feel like you'd be sad to leave here without talking about something that you're involved in and that you do physically on campus?
I would just say, and I talked about this in the campus life panel as well. Just you're here for academics, but also have fun too. Like you want to enjoy your college experience, so get involved, get out there, meet new people, do something that's kind of out of your comfort zone. Because, and I can tell you as someone in Talia, and I know everyone else on the panel can tell you that once you leave college, you're going to be put in a lot of uncomfortable situations. So might as well get out of that, get it over with now. So yeah, just have fun and get good grades.
I think to add to that as well is don't be afraid of leaving home, moving on campus. Even if you're not moving on campus, if you're a commuter, as Justin said, getting involved in staying on campus for most of the day. I think that seems very nerve-wracking to a lot of kids. I know I was very scared at the age of 18 to leave 2 states and bye to my parents on move-in day. But it's not as bad as you think. It's actually quite fun to be away from your parents and to live your own life and find out who you are as an individual.
Thank you. I appreciate those words of wisdom. We have time for just a couple more questions. So make sure you put it in the chat in the next few minutes if you would like your question answered. But we have one about working off campus or on campus. I know you two are certainly involved in that. So Justin, since you're unmuted, want to talk about how
I was about to answer that question anyway. So it goes to what I was talking about, what Talia was talking about, getting involved. So there are plenty of opportunities, even if it's not club or organization wise, you have opportunities on campus to build your resume. So whether it's through SGA as a job, or whether it's through Res Life as a job, as an RA or CA, there are plenty of jobs that are available on campus that are work study and non-work study. So you have plenty of resources for that. And we have a really good system called Handshake through our career development office that allows you to see jobs on and off campus that'll pair you based on what your interests are to certain jobs, so that you'll have you're not in the dark. You don't know, you're not what I want to do type thing. So that's something that I would definitely take advantage of. And then for off-campus purposes, a lot of people do. A lot of people have internships that are off campus and they still live here, go to school here, et cetera, and they're doing just fine. It's definitely possible. And I've had jobs off campus working in retail, grocery, all that type of stuff. There's plenty that you can do. So if that's something you need to do or want to do, I recommend slow assimilation. So I talked about this yesterday. When you get on campus, don't try to just jump into doing everything immediately because you may find yourself overwhelmed. Work slowly towards becoming more grounded and more comfortable with yourself and the environment that you're in. And then afterwards, then, you go take a dive. Then, you can do what you feel like you need to do to make money or whatever you need to do. So.
Additionally, with Handshake, what's really nice about it is that is our job portal for Oglethorpe students. And so every Oglethorpe student uses their own login to get in. And so you can, if you have been awarded work study, all the work study jobs pop up automatically. If you have not been awarded work study, they don't pop up, so you don't even know that they exist. So you're not really missing out on them. And that's for on-campus jobs, but then off-campus jobs, if you want something during the school year, like internships, as Justin said, they're on there. But there's also summer internships that pop up. There's jobs for after college that pop up as well. And so you just have to put in like a search bar, like I'm looking to go into the medical field, so I want to go into scribe. So you just type in scribe, for example, and all of the job offers that are on Handshake, and you can limit it to states or regions of the country, but all of them across the country will pop up as well.
We had a question about sort of how Greek life intersects with residential life. And I know that we are very purposeful, of course, in a normal year, about our planning and making sure that things go on across campus. So if anyone wants to speak to how we plan social life on campus, would love to hear about it.
I'm pretty sure Talia can speak on it too, but I can because I'm part of Greek life. But aside from the housing piece that Blake mentioned in the chat about some fraternities and sororities having specific houses on campus, we do like in my fraternity we do programming, but it's not exclusive to those who are not a part of the organization. So like we post our events all over campus, and then we post it on our event database, which is called OU Connect, which has every single event that happens on campus. And so if it's specific towards an organization, then it will say so on there. But generally speaking, most of the fraternities and sororities do offer like plenty of events, plenty of things to everybody. Whether it's like the occasional party, whether it's the occasional event program, whatever it is, it's possible for plenty of people to go. So it's not like it's secluded or it's like we're better than you type thing. We don't have that culture here.
Additionally, that's the housing and stuff. We're talking about social Greeks. If you're not into social Greek life, there's also non-social Greeks. There's academic Greeks. There's Greek life for volunteering. It's called APO. There's Greek life for certain career paths as well. And all of those organizations also do programmings all throughout the year that are typically open to all students to attend and have fun and learn based on different things as well.
And just in general, side note, but SGA programming board, that these are kind of organizations that are doing large scale programming, or if you're in a small student organization or a student organization in general, that you'll kind of be working with SGA on budgeting and figuring out how to be able to do what you want to do throughout the semester. And then from the higher view, you're working with us as professional staff to go through. So if there is Greek life programs, that those have to be approved and they have to go through either OU Connect or some other sort of management system to be approved and up on all of these sites and happening. So we don't have 10 events happening all at the same day on the same time so that people can go to things.
And OU Connect is basically our place where you can see everything going on across campus. You can see kind of a schedule of events, see what clubs are active, and see what you might want to get involved with. And in person, we typically have an activities fair that you could also go through and kind of talk to representatives from that club. But certainly if you guys have questions about any of those, reach out to me. In admissions, we can get you connected with somebody. Might be Justin, might be connected with Justin. He's one of our wonderful ambassadors. But I really appreciate all of you taking the time tonight to listen to us, to ask your questions. Hopefully you all saw Blake shared in the chat our residencelife@oglethorpe.edu email. If any questions come up, you realize you've changed your mind about something, you filled out a housing form, anything like that, we are certainly able to help. If you have a question about accessibility services, accessibility@oglethorpe.edu, you can talk about that. And certainly we want to be able to make all of you feel as comfortable as possible. If you're now interested in enrolling with us, contact me as well. I can help walk you through that process. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of our virtual programming over the next couple of weeks, and we will see you all another time. Thank you again, panelists.